Take two.
Marriage gets hard when you disagreeing. When God's in the center, he's refereeing. Talk about triggers and traumas while having date nights at the gym and the sauna. To business meetings discussing the health of the wealth to the season of commerce.
New beginning, prosperity, abundance, family will continue to walk.
You probably have some type of intro by next week.
What's up, good people?
What's up?
Welcome back to episode 3 of Marriage, Family, and Business. I am Katina.
I'm Vernon.
And this week's episode, we're going to talk about the evolution of our journey in the insurance business. As you guys know, we have been doing this for a few years. If you didn't know that, we're going to let you know how it's evolved, how this business started, and how we can serve individuals.
Yes, we all about service for sure. So, where we gonna start this out?
All right, we're gonna kick things off. Pretty much, give me I just need you to give me this little intro. I need you to share to me what happened and what drew you into insurance initially.
Well, I don't think I was drawn into it. I really didn't like what I was. I mean, yeah, I had a friend who pushed us in. He called me and said, "Hey man, I got an opportunity," which is always the call when you're trying to do building. And he introduced me to a organization that was a builder's model. They did some good things. I believe that the first video that I saw was Susie Orman. She was talking about some strategies that they dealt with, and it really changed my thought process. Even though I didn't want to do it, I was just doing it to help a friend. I signed you up, and I signed myself up, and this is where we actually got our first insurance policy from, outside of our job, is through this organization. So it was the beginning of my knowledge into the field. I believe that it just it didn't work out, of course, but I believe the reason it was because you wasn't there. What do you think it was?
I mean, I had already heard about the company. Like when I first graduated college, I heard from them a lot. I heard from them, and I heard from the company where you sell knives.
Well, it was another company that I think they sold telephone services.
No, I didn't get that one. It was the knives in that company. That's what I heard from a lot when I graduated undergrad. So because I still had that, and I was comfortable. I would go to work, teach.
Had that nice salary check?
Got my check and would get off work. I left everything at work. I never brought anything home.
You're right. You taught me how to do it.
Even if it was grading papers, I'm not. I will stay and do what I need to do before I bring it home. And I would come home, chill, relax, go to the gym or go to the track, play 2K, or binge watch something on Netflix. That's what my life was. That's what I was doing when I got off work. So I was comfortable. I wasn't really thinking about doing something extra or to invest in myself in something that wasn't like fitness.
So would you say that for the both of us, it was more of we just weren't ready?
Oh no, we weren't ready. We weren't thinking about it. I mean, you were teaching, I was teaching, and we were still able to travel. We were still able to do what we wanted to do. Like it wasn't nothing pushed us, nothing shifted us. There was nothing that happened to shift me into doing it.
True.
So when that shift occurred, yeah. So it was nothing pushing us. That's what it was.
Nothing pushing us at all. We were comfortable where we were. Together we were making 6 digits for sure, and we traveled a lot.
Absolutely.
We've been a lot of places.
It was definitely a learning experience. But sometimes really those early setbacks help us to refine our direction and values. Seeing that you were interested in it, I really wasn't. So now we're going into the second business model that we went into. So after I got laid off, as I said in the last podcast, I was either laid off or quit. I don't know which one it was. But we had the opportunity to join another insurance organization. And this one had more of a modern understanding. And it was exciting. It was new for us and it was exciting. But what I want to ask you is, from those positive aspects of the second builder model that we were going into, how did it influence our approach?
Well, I would say first of all, the only reason that I feel like we went into it is because we could do it together now. Mm-hmm. And when you brought it up to me and said that this was going on, I believe that like, oh, okay, well, something that we could do together for real. Like I actually saw some of the insurance stuff. I was actually starting to study some more insurance stuff on the side. You know, I got hit into the algorithm with TikTok, so I started hearing things about what you can do with insurance.
Going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's when the whole started. And it was like, okay, let's do it together. And this particular organization, I believe we couldn't. We already knew some things about the business. We had a business, which I would encourage any married couple. I'm telling you right now.
Yep.
As a married couple, when you get married, at some point in time in your life, you guys should have a business together.
Absolutely.
You should have an LLC set up with both of you all as the owners of that business. It's one of the smartest things we ever done.
We had our LLC and it was miscellaneous for a while. Like whenever we would do something or help out with something or pitch in with something, or even when we were doing our travel agency aspect, we had that LLC. So we didn't really define exactly what we were doing, but we knew that we were going to do some type of business together.
Yep. So at that particular point in time, that particular agency or IMO, whatever you say it was, they didn't allow us to use our LLC.
Yes.
And that was a red flag for us, because it was like, if you're saying this is a business opportunity, an opportunity for me to create my own business, why? We didn't know all the logistics until we left, but at that particular point in time, it was a red flag. But we got the chance to go independent at some point. So I mean, I would say, you were doing your test already at that particular point in time.
Yeah,
so,
I was doing my test, and
what was the learning process that you learned from that organization?
I was doing my test.
You finished your test.
I finished my test, passed all of that. I was really excited about that, because the thing I told myself, it's not the truth, but we have those things that we told ourselves that were not true. But in my mind, I wasn't a great test taker. Mm-hmm. I was a good student, but a test taker, that wasn't my thing. So I was, nervous about it. But took it that first time, pulled it out, but I kept prolonging it. I'm not going to lie to you.
We both did.
It was scheduled on October 7th. Then I moved it to the 14th. Then I moved it to the 27th. Like, I kept moving it because it's like, I'm not ready yet. And so when I finally took it, it was like, great, but this is to anyone encouraging them, even if you don't pass that first time, keep taking it, because it doesn't matter how many times you take it. I know somebody who was doing very well in this industry and they failed it 3 times, and they say it all the time.
Yes, they do.
So, don't be discouraged for that. But anyway, during the time, as I started going into meetings, I like education. Mm-hmm. In order for me to teach people, I like to learn myself so that I can teach you properly. And with that, it wasn't that much education on actually helping serve individuals. It was, okay, bring these people here and I'm gonna talk to them. And if you have a meeting, I'll lead the meeting and you be there to see how I do it for a couple of times.
And then we're gonna split.
And then it's like, I heard her and I understood it, but I was like, can I get this education first? And how about you come to see how well I do? Because I am an education and I do teach. And I know how to communicate, and I know how to. If the one thing that I know how to do is how to teach someone how to do something, teach you to understand it and break it down into ways for you to get it. That's one thing. That's a gift that I do have in communicating. And they were like, "No, it don't work like that. You come and listen." And I was like,
"Yeah, you can't tell a teacher you come and listen." Yeah, that was bad. I think you took that real like. Wait a minute,
hold on, wait a minute.
I got a master's degree.
Like I don't mind listening, but I got a whole master's. Like it doesn't take me long, know. So but for you, babe, like even though their approach was more updated, what challenges did we face when trying to align their bottle with the vision that we have for our own business?
Well, the education part was real big. I already had went down my wormhole, so I'm waiting for them to, first of all, it was the LLC thing. It's like, you already, like, you're not real. And we were telling our upline, like, if we can't do that, it's something not right. And it's something not right. We really were still about to go through with it. It wasn't until the upline actually left and took us with them to the independent world. And that's when we start seeing how it really was. Mm-hmm. We started seeing, like back then, they wanted you to do that. I remember them getting on the phone with your people, and you was like, I don't like this. I was like, yeah, because they want you to get on the phone. And I'm not going to talk about who the organization is, because it's a couple of them that do it. But they had you on the phone. They call all your people. They do the presentation with your people. They sign them up for business. Now, in their terms, you supposedly get paid at some point from that presentation. But the comp that they gave you was so low that they getting paid off all your people.
And then by the time you're licensed,
by the time you really get into the insurance agency or into your insurance journey, you've given away some of your prime prospects. Mm-hmm. And we didn't want to do that.
Right.
We didn't want to jump into that type of mindset and that type of strategy to build our business, because I felt like, and it's personal. It's a personal thing. I felt like, why mooch off of somebody else's their list of people to serve when God can give us our own.
Amen. I like.
Oh, you remember?
I remember the button. I did.
Thank you for the clap.
Good job, Ray. That was very well said. All right. But in all, as we have learned from these things, good or bad, they were all experiences. Mm-hmm. So it was still a learning experience, and it helped shift our business model that we have right now. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to shift into what happened next. And in this next area, we go to the journey of independence. And when I say independence, we go from being captive to independent.
We didn't know,
and we didn't even know we were captive. Like, we learned all of this stuff, guys. Like, we learned so much. Like, we didn't even know the whole time we were captive. Like, once we went independent, they were like, "Oh no, you independent. It's directly to the carrier." Wait, what? So the carrier pays you directly,
not the company.
Not the company. What? So for us, like, that first couple of months when I really started writing business, and to see the insurance companies pay the business account directly. Let's clap again, babe. Clap. That was really like the first insurance companies putting those payments through, and just seeing it show up in the business account. It just put a smile on my face. Like, okay.
That was it. It was like, right. Yeah, this is it.
This is it right here.
This is what we about to do.
It was coming into the account, and it was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, man, it was amazing. And I always gonna give her credit. The way that she jumped in and started really going, it actually inspired me and motivated me to look at something different and get uncomfortable, because I was working my job and I was doing okay. We was keeping everything together, but to see that could happen, like when she was selling, I was like, wait a minute, how much we make off that? It's going in the business account. I'm like, whoa, hold on. We need to start thinking about this, because this is something that can change our life, and we're helping people just like we help when we teach. But I was told not to get into teaching because of the money.
Well, thank you for that. I don't think you've ever told me that, so yes, thank you, babe.
That was amazing.
I'll say this: what helped was they provided education.
Yes,
they had video clips, YouTube clips, a library on how to do this business. Why do you do this business? How do you write it? What are the guidelines? How do you contact underwriting? So I literally was studying this as if I was in school. It was like I was in school again. I'm studying the carrier. I'm studying how it can help my clients. I'm calling underwriting. Okay, well, why doesn't this work for this individual? Oh, so because this individual has this, I need to do this. Like, I literally was learning this information. And when I would talk to a client, okay, we're going to do this because of this. And they listened, even though I was new to it. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's like, if I didn't know the answer when they asked me, you better believe I was going to figure out the answer before I met back with them again, because I want to educate you to know what it is you're signing up for.
Yep.
But I will say, it was great to see that money come into the account.
So managing. So I think the biggest question I think for you, how did you feel about, like, we were part of, because we went from being with one IMO to at this point, what, 5 IMOs, and you was really 6 because that or IMO from before did what they did to you.
Oh, right. You know what? I'm gonna talk about it. Just it might help somebody.
Okay, the question is, what do you think about the difference? Like, okay, I'm with this one company to I'm with 5 companies. Like, how did we manage that at that particular point in time, and what did you feel about that process?
Well, one, how to manage it, it was definitely helpful to see the organization of it, like getting into Excel sheets, organizing, okay, this carrier is over here, this carrier is for this. But it was the ability to help individuals based off what they needed and what was affordable to them. So I had access to different places. Whatever you needed, I could go over there and get it. I didn't have to put everybody in the same box because it's all I had and it was all I had to work with. I had different ways of helping any individual based on their circumstance. So that's what I loved about having the different brokers and what you were saying about what they did. So pretty much, I'm going to say it really quickly. So pretty much for the longest, I passed my exam and I had my license, and they were supposed to send me contracts. They never sent the contracts until the day I sent the letter saying that I was going to no longer be a part of their agency and I was going to become independent. After that, I started getting contracts from them at the same time as receiving contracts from my new one. So it had I called the upline. I called her like, yeah, I received that contract. Wait, how did you receive it? We didn't even put it in yet. And it literally was like a blindside because I really didn't know what was going on. So you got to really make sure you're paying attention to your emails and what's going on, and you really being guided through it. But so, babe, as we're managing this, how was like your understanding of these strategies working, or like what did you notice about these styles and the selling styles? How did they contrast with the approach that we wanted to take?
Well, this is the part where I started believing that I didn't need my job in order to survive, to thrive in the world, and then the information that we were getting was so different from what I had heard in that first one, because it was just about the death benefit there. It wasn't about all the other aspects of insurance that service people. It really just changed the way that I can help a person. There's so many different ways I can help them. It's like, man, and the person that we were dealing with, or the couple, it was like 3 or 4 of them, they all had something. I learned about debt acceleration, how an insurance policy can accelerate a person out of credit card debt and bad debt and move them from being in debt to having their own family bank. Crazy stuff, like how a person can set up their own retirement strategy that will be tax-free, and they receive a tax-free salary every year through their insurance kind of policy. Man, it was so many different things. The living benefits thing that we've already posted, and we'll probably put it on here at the end, but learning that living benefits help and protect the client when they go through those chaotic things that happen in life. Especially
as a business owner, a 1099 as an entrepreneur, we have to protect ourselves with our benefits.
Yes.
Period. So, babe, that's what we didn't. I don't think okay, never mind. So after we experienced all of these things and went through all this learning, got out and found ways that things could align with our values and what we bring in our next chapter. This is when we start finding the right fit and fitting into adding health insurance into our business. Now, what really drove us and pushed us to health insurance is because after he quit, because all our benefits was with his employer.
Yes, they were.
We needed health insurance.
And Cobra is not it. She read the terms on Cobra. It was like, because I think they wanted something like $600, $800 a month.
So pretty much this is just a real quick definition of Cobra. I'm going to just teach Cobra really quick.
Okay.
So Cobra is, you have a group plan. right? There's a group plan with your employer. So you're playing into that group plan. And because it's a group plan, you get a discounted rate because it's a group. Legally, they have to offer you that same insurance and those same benefits that you had while you worked there. But you are going to pay a different rate. It's going to be more expensive. Why? You are no longer a part of the group.
You're an individual now.
You're individual now, but they're giving you access to it. So you got to pay way more. So that's why Cobra can be so evil sometimes. I don't want to talk about it because some people are using Cobra, but if you are and you need some assistance, let me know.
Yeah, you definitely need some assistance.
But
I'm not going to say
you are using that, you're over here, you're paying, you don't have access to the group rate and you paying that same insurance. Well, you probably can get that same insurance or even better with those same benefits somewhere else for more of a affordable cost for you.
Yes.
That's just
All right, go ahead. Segment 4. Just act like nothing happened.
All right, so we're just going to go forward to talking about health insurance. So guys, real quick, we just had a little issue with the camera.
So if something
changed or looked different,
it's on purpose.
It's purpose, okay?
Because it's
Yeah, it was something that happened, but we're almost done. We're finishing it up. All right. So, babe, we're now in health insurance.
Yes.
I'm really excited about it. And this is really when we really started taking our leap of faith.
Yes.
Once we started with the health insurance, this is when we started traveling in our journey. So what motivated us to take that step? And what did we learn that helped us find success more quickly this time?
Say it again.
What did we learn that helped us find success more quickly? And what motivated us to take those steps?
Well, I think for one, we was with some hitters.
Heavy hitters.
People that, really know what they talking about
For
when it
real.
comes to health insurance.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I believe that we were able to navigate quicker on how we wanted to run our business. We already knew what an LLC had to do in order to be considered insurance agency. We already knew what the contracts needed to look like for us to be direct to carrier. Because direct to carrier is the way to go. If you're trying to own your own book, you want the carrier to pay you, not the insurance company. So, we just knew more, and we had been through. Man, at that point in time, it was 5 different that we were stretched out through, but we seen 7.
Right.
So, we kind of understood the way we wanted things to work out. We still were dealing with trying to how to figure out marketing, which that's still a battle for every business owner. Oh, well, I guess we only on with one camera.
Right, we got one camera view.
One camera at the end.
Let's go.
Everybody?
Let's go. It's a whole bunch going on. The enemy's trying to stop us, babe. It's a whole bunch going on right now.
So
okay.
As we kept going forward, what I noticed was we just knew more. We knew more about how we wanted to go. It still wasn't all the way there, but we knew a little bit more. And I believe, for you, when we found the organization that we finally, are with now, what made it feel like it was the right place?
Well, one, they have a library of education. As I said before, I thrive in that type of setting. 2, seeing couples operate in the business and be very successful at it. 3, seeing families operate the business and be successful at it. That was the biggest thing, seeing, I found out I was having a girl in the office with a family that was operating, and to see their daughter excel in the business and run things and just be a young boss, that was really encouraging and really inspiring for me to see. Having us to see having a daughter. So it was really seeing families operate, having a library of knowledge, and them just being, upfront and honest and being real about it, allowing us to use our business. It was the same thing. Like, even when we went up there, we literally would go up to the office. We spent a lot of time up there. And I brought Journey up there. We brought the baby up there, and Journey was just smiling at everybody. Now, and Journey, she'll let you know if she look at you and with a stern face, she's not rocking with you. So she was just smiling and really embraced it. Yeah. So it was definitely that, the education, seeing couples and seeing families thrive in it.
And they're thriving in a service capacity. The whole education behind learning more was, how can I service the individual? It wasn't about, oh, you can make more money. They didn't lead with money. They led with service. And I believe that was the biggest aspect.
Oh, so that was the biggest for you. Okay, then. So we pretty much found the right fit in the business, and finding the right fit made all the difference. Now we're going to talk about where we are today. So we are Purely Flourishing Benefit Solutions. So I'm going to just give you a little background. Purely Flourishing. Where did it come from? So my name is Katina. Katina means pure.
My name is Vernon. It means flourish. Flourish.
It is the meaning of our names, but it also means to thrive with good intentions, because our goal is to serve first and educate individuals. So as we are thriving today, babe, and moving forward in our business, can you share with our listeners where we stand now and the primary services we offer?
We are a one-stop shop for every protection that you need, whether you're under 65 or whether you're over 65. From just your health benefits, being business owners, entrepreneurs, 1099, regular people, all the way up to your seniors who are 65 and they need to learn how to navigate Medicare. We're those people who help you and educate you on everything that you have in the area, and you make the decision, but you're going to make an educated decision, not just a decision when you deal with us. Not only that, we also help you protect your retirement, making sure that you don't have to go to work if you don't want to. That's where we're standing right now.
What do you mean, go back to work after they retire?
They don't have to work if they don't want to. Like some people retire and they still want to go to work. Right. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. Okay. We want to make sure that we're protecting their retirement and giving them the choice to whether they want to go back to work or not.
Amen.
Now, as far as you, we've emphasized this 65 and over, 65 and under 65. How do we make sure that these people are educated? Because we keep talking about education. I think you should go ahead and explain why, or give them a story of why.
Okay, so insurance changes every year.
Yes, it does.
Like as of now, there's a lot of changes going on. The biggest change is short-term medical, right? So there's a thing across all states that they may be limiting the time of short-term medical. Short-term medical generally can last you up to 3 years in some states, and some it was 6 months. Currently, right now with short-term medical, there are a lot of changes. If you don't know what a short-term medical is, it's generally if it's not open enrollment and there's a special enrollment and you don't have the time to actually qualify, and during that time to fill in that gap for your coverage, you use a short-term medical. Or if you have one of those states that lets you have it for 2 or 3 years, some people legit use short-term medical as their health insurance.
Yes.
Now, what they're doing now, starting January 1st, it's banned in Illinois. January 1st, 2025 is banned. You can no longer use a short-term medical plan. They're letting you know right now, November 1st hits, go to the marketplace, do what you need to do. But if you have a short-term medical plan, we will not recognize it as a valid health insurance.
It's illegal.
Exactly. So once I found that information out, I do have Illinois clients who are on short-term medical plans. He is a hairstylist. I reached out to him. I said, hey, these some changes made. You are currently on this plan. We need to make changes. He was like, what? So I literally had a conversation with him, let him know what these changes are going to look like. I was like, we already looked at how much it looked like for you on the marketplace. That's why we went to a short-term medical, because he is a high earner hairstylist, over 6 figures. Simply with ACA, the more you make, the more you'll pay. The less you make, the less you pay, or nothing at all. He was one of those high earners. It was literally less expensive for him with a short-term medical than marketplace. So we knew how that looked. But I have access to private insurance. Showed him the private insurance plan. Let him know this is a 1099 self-employed health insurance plan. It's what you would get as an employer, but you are your employer.
Yes.
He loved it. He was like, hey, I'm in it. Let's do it right now. When does it start? This sounds better anyway. So it was me getting this information, getting educated on it, and being able to educate my clients on what's new that's happening. And these are the options we have to serve you as our client.
And you save money.
Oh, I did. He saved a lot of money. Well, he saved a lot of money because that marketplace plan, like he's a high earning hairstylist, okay? Yeah. And it literally was a lot of money. Like his short-term medical with dental and accident was less expensive than just his marketplace plan. Yeah. That's how high his salary was. But he can't wait for that private insurance to start. But I just been reaching out to my individuals to let them know, like, these are the changes and this is what's happening. Now, babe, back to you. What are the core values that we continue to shape, that we interact with these clients to build our business for the future?
Our core value is we don't sell just to sell. We sell because you need. I can go to a story of a client who I first started. We had to call on the phones and call all these people. And, I talked to this lady for a while. I didn't know anything about time management or anything like that. I was just getting to know people on the phone. And I talked to the young lady, and she told me, I'll think about it first. And then I got on the phone with her again. She says, no, I don't think I want any final expense plan because my daughter is rich and she can afford my funeral. And I don't want to get a funeral anyway. I just want a cremation plan. So I don't need that final expense plan. And I say, okay, well, thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't, service you at this moment. But, I would love to still keep in touch with you. So, every once in a while, I still send her a text message and say, hey, how you doing? This particular time, it was during the holiday season. And I thought about her. I said, hey, how you doing? I'm not going to give her name online, but I said, hey, how you doing? She says, I'm doing okay. Give me a call. And, I get on the phone with her and I'm talking to her and she says, I'm on Medicare because she's out of her, she's after 65, and she says, I don't need a Medicare plan. Her Medicare was set. She said, but my Medicare doesn't deal with my dental, and I don't know what to do with my dental. Can you switch me out of my Medicare plan to another Medicare plan that has some dental? And at that particular point in time, we didn't have anything we can do for her. It was a special. She was actually in the time period that we could switch out Medicare plans, but her plan was already taking care of everything else that she needed. It was just this one thing, and the plans that I could put her on still wouldn't do what she needed. I think she needed some type of dental surgery, and we were able to get her that. She was a final expense person, somebody that. I was trying to sell a final expense policy and she said she didn't want it, but I was still be able to serve her by checking up on her and seeing how she was. And, I think that's our core value. We don't sell just to sell. We get to know people and we get to know how we can serve those people.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, with our clients, it's almost like, building a relationship, building a friendship. People will call me all the time, just like family will call me to ask me how's journey. My clients will call me and ask how's journey. So it's the same thing in that scope. So
when they become our client, they become a family member in some kind of way. Yeah.
So all in all, guys, it has been an incredible journey and it's still going. But I'm proud of the business we built. Yeah. And I'm excited to see where God takes it.
Yeah, we still working. We not where we want to be.
Oh, absolutely not.
We far from where we was at.
Hello. Say it again.
We not where we want to be, but we far from where we started.
Yep.
This is a journey that I love because I get to spend it with my beautiful wife, now my beautiful daughter, and the ability to build this business and still have family and build family at the same time is, it's one of the greatest things I've ever had. Time, flexibility, freedom.
That's
what it feels like.
It's learning how to navigate and putting in that work, the grind, but being graceful about it. Yeah. Because I will say quickly, as we're ending the segment, I will say this. I was able to speak to an individual. I like to speak to like women in business who had small children, because I wanted to ask people. I was literally asking them like, okay, well, how did you do it? How did you do this? And how did you navigate it? And one thing a lady told me was that while she was in this business and traveling with insurance, and her children were very small, she missed out on their first words. She missed out when they learned how to crawl. She missed out when they learned how to walk because she was doing business and doing these policies. And she said that was one thing that I regret, was that, you know, granted, I built this business for my family, but at the same time, I can continue to get policies and continue to get insurance, but I can never get that time back that I missed with my children. And it was I was meant to hear that because I received that. So even throughout the day when I'm doing business or even learning about business or working on the business, working within the business, if I'm taking time, I'm gonna take some time with my baby, or I have to have a cutoff time because I have a small child. She's 4 months now. Time is flying. She'll be 5 months very soon.
For sure.
So I want to make sure, you know, of course, it's God, it's family, and business. It
is what it is. I would say, and you know, I think this is a book we both read. So you know, just because of the way that the episode went, you know, the book that I think that if you're a business owner right now, and you might be a believer, you might not be a believer. It doesn't even matter. There's a book out there called Grace Over Grind by Shay Bynes. It helped us to see some things about, you know, it takes time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, and we're happy where we are.
And there are rough times.
It's rough times all the time, but you know, at the end of the day, I feel like we're running the business the way God intended us to run the business.
Amen.
And even if we're not all the way up the board yet in sales, we're doing it the way that
we will one day.
We're doing it the way that God intended it for us to do, and we're going to continue to progress and do the things that we need to do in order to serve our clients.
We're going to thrive with good intentions.
Yes, always.
So we want to thank you guys for joining us today and listening to Vernon and I's journey through this insurance industry. And we also want to, you know, we thank you guys for listening. And of course, our goal is to always committed to educating people and knowing their options. So if you are one of those individuals, whether you're a business owner, self-employed, 1099, or just, you know, W-2 individual with a family, and you have questions and you need some benefits, or in over 65 community, you all as well, if you have any questions, concerns, you guys can reach out to us through the chat. Are we going to have an email in the link? Is there a way that they can contact us?
We can put our email in the link. You know, if you guys say something in the comment, I'll probably respond with our information for you to give us a call. But service comes first. The client, making sure the client is getting what they need.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's sometimes what you want as well, but what do you need? Like, you know, if you're telling me what you need, I'm going to make sure you get that, and I'm going to make sure you get that with good value.
Absolutely. So again, we thank you all for listening.
Yes.
I'm Katina.
I'm Vernon.
And thank you all for tuning in to Marriage, Family, and Business.
Marriage gets hard when you disagreeing. When God's in the center, he's refereeing. Talk about triggers and traumas while having date nights at the gym and the sauna. To business meetings discussing the health of the wealth to the season of commerce.
New